Hi friends, this is Arun. In this video, we'll have a look at database. What is a database and what is the data? Why we need that? And can't I live with that without it? So these are some of the questions which we are going to answer in this video. Okay, so simple. Anything which you store is a data. So any thing like about your credit card number or your personal details, all those things. So that's nothing new in that. Okay, and database helps you to do it. Database is nothing but a software which helps you to do it. Okay, so before going into that software part, let's go to the real world and see how currently it is happening. Like let's pick a government office and let's start from there. So typically in the government office, everything is stored in a physical file, physical paper, and the paper is passed down from one person to another person. Finally the peon is the one who is going to help out in organizing the data. So what you will do, so once it is all the papers are finalized, so he'll go and directly put it into a cabinet. Okay, so this is how typical what is it government office handles the thing. The same thing like will do it in the software. Okay, here instead of peon, your database management software does that. As simple as that. Okay, your peon is your database management DBMS system. Okay, so the primary way or reason why we are organizing that data into a proper racks is to efficiently retrieve it and manage the space pretty well. So if I randomly throw it into a room, so when you need, like, you're gone. Okay, and typically the files are nothing but an individual paper with lot of lines. The same way here, the software helps you to organize and retrieve the data better. Okay, so this is equivalent to peon. And then instead of your files, we have something called, obviously, efficient management, space management is there. Instead of files, we have something called tables and rows. Okay, or the lines is equivalent to the records. Every record will store information about a person or something. Okay, whatever the thing is. Okay, if it is a land, it will store all the data about the land. Okay, what is the place, where it is located, who is the owner, who is the previous owner, how much cost it is, what is the depreciation factor, all the stuff will be there. Okay, so this is the analogy between these two guys. Okay, as simple as that. So your uh, peon is your database management software. Okay, nothing fancy about that. Okay, so now we got what is a database. The next question which we should ask ourselves is like, hey, I'm running my business without this DBMS for the past 100 years. Why should I have it? Or when should I need it? What is the trigger point when I should go for a database management system? For example, you can go uh, by walk, you can go by car, you can go by bike, flight. So every change would have a trigger point, right? The same way here also, when we go from a walking state to a bike state, there is a reason. So typically, you can store the data in a notepad file or a Word file or a Excel file. Excel is the most popular thing which is used by all the people. Okay, so these are the places, these are the ways where you can store and retrieve the data. Okay, if your business is small, okay, let's assume I'm not having, I mean, my business is having around only 10 sales or 20 sales per day. So there is no point for me to manage a database. So all I need to have is like a paper, pen and paper, and then manage it and then do it, or even you can store it. So typically you can write your own program, simple program, and then retrieve the data from the text file or the Excel file, and then you can analyze the things very simple. So I'm not saying you should not store the data at all. I'm saying you can store the data in a text file or a Excel file and use it if and only if your data is little smaller and you don't have any dependencies on any bigger things. Okay. But if you want to have, if your system grows, or if your business grows, okay, then your transaction doubles or triples. Okay, you will be in a deep trouble. For example, searching for something in a notepad file is not that simple. You have to use control F. That's the only way. And let's assume you have 10,000 records, you are gone. So let me give an analogy, like go to any one of your video file and open the file. Okay, I mean .mkv, .mp4 files, all those things will be having, right? Open it with notepad, plain notepad, and see for the time how much it takes. So for 700 MB or 1 GB, it will take at least 3 to 4 seconds, or sometimes more than a minute to do it. So that's the trouble you will have. Like when the speed the speed goes down if the data grows up. So every time you can't open the file and search pretty simply. So those are the times where you will go for a DBMS. Let's assume I want to insert something in the middle of a notepad. So that is a trouble. Like I have to find the place and then do it. Whether I'll see the business or I'll go and sit and record this. So this will be irritating thing. Okay. So or if you want to modify any record, that will be blocking your business, a day-to-day business. So these are the scenarios where you will deploy a person like assistant to do the things, or you can go for a DBMS or a software which will connect to a database and then retrieve it in a much faster way. That's where all the billing softwares happens. So every billing software will have the database at the back end, and when you search for something, whether this things is available in the store or not, it helps the storekeeper to do it better. Okay, so these are the reason why you should go for a database DBMS. You should not go for DBMS until unless you have a larger amount of data or you are having a plan to have to a larger scale. Okay, so that's the first call which you should take it. So now we have seen the DBMS thing. So then let's see what are the DBMS generally available. There are different type of database available. Like for retrieving that, there is a language called SQL, structured query language. Okay, so that is like a language which I mean, as I said, there are different databases, right? So why it is different? That's the first question. Because it is from different people. So different companies will have, they want to have their own thing. Like we have a different bikes, right? So even 200cc bikes, there are around 15 variants of 200cc bikes. Okay, like that. So Microsoft, it's called SQL Server. Okay, and uh, Oracle, MySQL, these are the popular one. Okay, let's go back to the jargons. So after this jargons, we'll come back to it. So in IT we have a lot of jargons, right? So as I said, a record or the row or tuple all are same. So it is a single entity which stores, or single row which stores details about a person. For example, here money is his name. Okay, that is called a field, or Sanju is a field, and 7 might be his rupee or like age, I don't know what it is. So that information we don't have it. Okay, this is a data, plain data. Okay, so let's assume that is his age, and the third M is for is a table, sorry, sex and other details, whatever it is, and the whole thing is called a table. So table is the one which holds all the data of a different persons. Okay, and the structure or the data types or all those things are called schema. Okay, so for example, money. So some people will have a name of around 50 characters, so you should have a stop, right? So where, how much max number of names, characters you can have in the name. So what is the size of the thing, what is the data type, what is the length, all those stuffs you can have it. So that is will be part of the schema. The schema would be a database schema or a table schema. Table schema is the one which I explained. Database schema is the schema which explains what are the tables in the database, how they are connected to each other. Okay, following with the jargons, the next jargon is called primary key. Primary key is nothing but it helps you to uniquely identify a record. Okay, for example, in your class, there are a couple of Aruns in my class. So how they will uniquely identify, like Arunyam is the way. So or else they call me as AP. Okay, that is my primary key which is unique for me. Okay, it helps you to filter or fetch the record in an efficient way. Okay, so that is the first jargon, and obviously should not be null. If it is null, you will not be able to retrieve, right? There is no meaning in it. Okay, so logically it is not working fine. So these are the constraints for a primary key. So primary key should be unique, it should be not, it should not be null. And if you refer that same primary key in the other file itself, let's if I am storing in two different files, for example, first file has some marks, second file has the school names and other things. Okay, so that I want to relate these two files. How I'll relate it is money. So money is unique across all the files. Okay, and that is called foreign key. So it is a foreign guide to this. Okay, first table we call that as a primary key, and wherever we want to refer, we'll call that as a foreign key. As simple as that. Nothing different about these two guys. Both are same. And if you don't want to call it as a foreign key, it's fine. Okay, you cut off the relationship between two files and then say that these are two different files, and here it is a primary key. Okay, the reason for relationship management is, for example, if I delete money from a school, obviously his record should be also deleted, or vice versa. So I need to have a constraint for it. So that's the reason why we are having a foreign key. Okay. Okay, so we have seen three things: what is a database, when to use it, and what are the things. And coming back to our things, like why do we need a database? This is a silly thing. Like we need to keep our own records, activities, sales records. If it is a developer reports, all those things will be there. Okay, and some of the applications, early database applications are airlines reservation systems, banking systems, all those things. Now modern database systems are mostly client server architecture. Even multimedia applications have multimedia databases. Data warehouse is another a completely different ball game altogether. So you can't skip database at any point of time. You have to learn. Okay, so these are some of the choices. As I said, IBM DB2, Oracle is from Oracle Corporation. Microsoft, they call as a SQL Server. SQL Server is not same as SQL. SQL is structured query language, and there is another a database called MySQL. Okay, and Postgres is there. And we have two types of database: relational, non-relational. So your spreadsheet is a non-relational, where you don't have the foreign key constraint, all those things. Whereas relational thing like Oracle, MySQL, you have the foreign key and the relation between two tables, all those things are there. Okay, and there is another field called in the non-relational, something called NoSQL is there. So we'll look into that later. Okay, thank you friends, bye bye.